Hello there, you're tuning into Nightline with me, Nakia Basharudin. The headlines. 3 burnt to death after BMW catches fire on Silk Highway. Chinese New Year celebrated in true Mohiba spirit across the country. Welcome. 3 individuals were burnt to death after the BMW they were traveling in hit a road divider and caught fire at kilometer 6.9 of the Kajang Dispersal Link Silk Expressway heading for Sungai Long in Kajang. Selangor Fire and Rescue Department Assistant Director of Operations Nur Izha Muhammad Dundin said the car was believed to have skidded and hit the center divider before it caught fire, which destroyed 90% of the vehicle. All victims, 2 men and a woman, were trapped in the car when it burst into flames. Nur Hizam said 9 firefighters from the Kajang station were deployed upon receiving a distress call on the incident at 5:46 p.m. The victims' bodies were extricated from the vehicle before being sent to the Serdang Hospital for post-mortem and DNA analysis. Kajang OCPD ACP Ahmad Zafir Muhammad Yusuf said the woman has been identified as 65-year-old from Taman Anggrek Emas. Police have classified the case as reckless driving under Section 41, subsection 1 of the 1987 Road Transport Act. Datuk Sri Dr. Wan Azizah Wan Ismail on Tuesday said that she has not heard anything about a cabinet reshuffle after the Chinese New Year festival. The Deputy Prime Minister said any decision on changes to the cabinet was a prerogative of the Prime Minister, Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad.
Itu kena tanya Perdana Menteri lah sebab saya tak dengar lagi kata nak reshuffle dekat kabinet.
Datuk Sri Dr. Wan Azizah said this to reporters after attending a Chinese New Year open house in Kuala Lumpur on Tuesday. She was asked to comment on a blog post claiming that Economic Affairs Minister Datuk Sri Muhammad Azmin Ali would be appointed Deputy Prime Minister after the Chinese New Year. Following the blog post, speculation has strengthened on the possible appointment of Datuk Sri Muhammad Azmin as Deputy Prime Minister because talk is that Tun Dr. Mahathir has been giving him important assignments, including making him chairman of the Kelantan State Action Council and possibly to also head the proposed body similar to the previous National Economic Action Council. A remarkable spirit of togetherness was displayed at the Chinese New Year Open House organised by the Kuala Lumpur and Selangor Chinese Assembly Hall, KLSCAH, near Kampung Atap on Tuesday. This as the gathering saw ordinary Malaysians mingling around with national and state leaders, including the Deputy Prime Minister, Datuk Sri Dr. Wan Azizah Wan Ismail, as well as members of the business community. Clad in a pink kabaya dress, Datuk Sri Dr. Wan Azizah was greeted on arrival by KLSCAH President Dato' Ong Seng Kek, as well as an energetic lion dance performance. She, who is also Women and Family Development Minister, was joined by Defence Minister Muhammad Sabu and Primary Industries Minister Teresa Kok. In a show of Chinese New Year togetherness, MCA President and Air Hitam MP Datuk Sri Dr. Wee Ka Siang also joined in the merriment. At the event, Datuk Sri Dr. Wan Azizah, together with Dato' Ong, was invited to write the Chinese calligraphy for Ji Xiang, which means auspicious. She then joined the KLSCAH committee members to do the traditional tossing of the Yi Sang, symbolizing abundance, prosperity and vigour. The Pandan MP, who spent more than half an hour at the event, also had a meet and greet session with more than 200 guests. Meanwhile, Chinese communities around the country welcomed the Year of the Pig on Tuesday, ushering in the Lunar New Year with prayers, family feasts and shopping sprees after embarking on the world's largest annual migration. In Sabah, the state government held its first ever Chinese New Year open house in Kota Kinabalu with over 5,000 visitors of various races and ethnicities turning up at the event. Visitors started flooding the Hakka Hall since 9 a.m., where guests were treated to a sumptuous feast of local delicacies. The event kicked off with the tossing of yi sang, a salad symbolizing abundance, prosperity and vigor, followed by a lineup of cultural performances, including the lion dance. Also present were Yang di-Pertua Negeri Sabah, Tun Johar Mahiruddin, Chief Minister Datuk Seri Muhammad Shafi Abdal and his deputy Datuk Christina Liu. Meanwhile, the Kuantan Fisheries and Trawlers Association in Pahang held a Chinese New Year open house for a group of old folks and underprivileged children. Smiles of joy were seen on the faces of 23 children from Rapa Children's Home in Air Putih and 6 residents of the Jabor Old Folks Home at the event held in Taman Cendrawasih Perdana. Some 150 guests were also present at the event, which also featured a dragon dance performance as well as a variety of scrumptious local delicacies. In Sarawak, Chief Minister Datuk Patinggi Abang Johari Tun Openg was among the first dignitaries who attended the Sarawak United People's Party SUPP's open house in Kuching. The Chief Minister was accompanied by his wife, Datin Patinggi Jumaani Tunku Haji Bujang. He arrived at about 10 a.m. at the Dewan Sati at the party's headquarters. He spent about half an hour with SUPP senior leaders and other guests. The open house, which kicked off at 9 a.m., was attended by about 3,000 people. Also joining them were Sarawak Yang di-Pertua Negeri Tun Abdul Taib Muhammad and his wife, Toh Puan Ragaat Kurdi Taib. In Kuala Lumpur, more than 3,000 guests turned up at MCA's open house held at Wisma MCA in Jalan Ampang. Various activities were held, including a lion dance performance, traditional games, sketches and singing. The lion dance troupe ushered in guests, including dignitaries, as early as 8:45 a.m. Among those present were MCA President Datuk Sri Wee Ka Siong, Acting UMNO President Datuk Sri Muhammad Hassan and MIC President Tan Sri S.A. Vigneswaran.
Setiap kali sambutan perayaan Tahun Baru Cina, sekeluarga datang ke sini lah.
Selalu macam tu?
Memang selalu begitu.
Tahun ni ada rasa apa-apa kelainan ke atau ada special macam mana?
Setiap tahun ada bertukar-tukar lah aktiviti. Ada yang berbeza-beza setiap tahun lah.
Bagaimana dengan tahun ni?
Tahun ni meriah, lebih selesa.
Persembahan pun menarik. Memang kita kan orang Malaysia, sambutan memang kita tetap sambut semua perayaan. So memang kita datang dari situ untuk sama-sama menyambut Tahun Baru Cina.
And as for Chinese Muslims, they are continuing the tradition of celebrating Chinese New Year with loved ones each year. They too gather with family members and relatives at their homes for a grand dinner on the eve of the festival. For the family of Muhammad Chan Chinese Muslim restaurant founder Datuk Muhammad Chan Abdullah, the tradition of getting together continues, and such gathering helps to strengthen family ties. The gathering was held at his restaurant in Subang Jaya, Selangor.
Kira-kira tak ada apa-apa beza. Itu agama punya pasal saja. So saya pun seorang Cina juga. Kita pun celebrate Chinese New Year. Tapi biasa saya selalu pergi saya punya saudara rumah ke rumah. Tapi tahun ini saya kumpul dia orang di sini di saya punya restoran. Sekali kita makan, kita menggila sekali.
This time, Datuk Muhammad Chan managed to gather all 80 relatives from 10 families for a reunion dinner, giving the elders oranges and the best part of it all, collecting ang paos. The finance minister on Tuesday expressed confidence that 2019 is the best start to see the country's economic development. Lim Guan Eng said his confidence was based on the strengthening of the country's fiscal position, as well as a steady increase in foreign direct investments, FDI, since last year. Speaking to the media in Pulau Pinang on Tuesday, the finance minister said after last year, the country is able to give confidence to foreign investors as well as financial fund companies that the government is committed to addressing the problems inherited by the previous government.
Pada masa yang sama, kita committed untuk mencapai sasaran kita dan ketara kita telah capai sasaran. Dan itulah sebabnya tahun ini adalah permulaan untuk melihat pembangunan ekonomi dan kita harap bahawa itu pelabur tempatan boleh memainkan peranan untuk terus melabur dalam pasaran tempatan.
Earlier, Lim attended the Chinese New Year open house organized by the Pulau Pinang Chinese Chamber of Commerce at the Spice Arena Indoor Stadium in Bayan Baru. The function was also attended by Pulau Pinang Yang di-Pertuan Negeri Tun Abdul Rahman Abbas, Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs Minister Datuk Sri Saifuddin Nasution Ismail, and Deputy Foreign Minister Datuk Marzuki Yahya. When we come back, highest dengue cases reported in Selangor. Details coming right up. Welcome back. Brokers for the sale of the One Malaysia Development Berhad 1MDB-linked super yacht Equanimity are reportedly facing a hard time in securing a buyer for the luxury vessel. Yacht specialist Burgess said there were few boats equal in size currently on the market, but the 91.5-meter super yacht, believed to have cost some $250 million remains unsold. The Equanimity was put up for sale at the end of last year with a guide price of $130 million, or about half its estimated cost. Despite the huge discount, initial efforts to sell the vessel in a November 2018 auction after the Admiralty Court ruled that the government and 1MDB were the rightful owners of the vessel did not pan out. A lawyer representing 1MDB and the government, Sitipa Selvaratnam, said some bidders were opportunistic in their pricing, but stressed that her party would not accept anything below $100 million. The report said some potential buyers accustomed to sizing up super yachts along Europe's southern coastlines have been unwilling to travel to the naval base near Kuala Lumpur that hosts Equanimity. But Burgess is still talking to as many as 20 interested buyers for the vessel, with interest coming from the Middle East, Russia, and other parts of Asia. However, the sale is not expected to come soon enough for the government, which is currently spending as much as $500,000 a month maintaining the vessel. Members of the public are advised against bringing home dogs from other areas into Mukim Taiping and Bukit Gantang in conjunction with the Chinese New Year holidays. This is to avoid the risk of rabies infection. In a statement on Tuesday, Perak Veterinary Services Department JPV Director Dr. Ahmad Shafri Hassan said the Larut Matang and Selama districts have been gazetted as rabies-infected areas on January 14th, and that the order stands until today. The statement read that all parties should continue taking precautionary measures and not bring out dogs from the gazetted areas, namely Mukim Taiping and Bukit Gantang, which have been declared as rabies outbreak areas, adding that if there is a necessity to take the dogs out, a written permission from the Perak Veterinary Services Department Director must be obtained to prevent spreading of the disease. Dr. Ahmad Shafri also said that the department, in collaboration with the police, has intensified roadblocks and patrols to prevent transfer attempts of dogs out of the rabies-infected areas. Any person caught breaking the rule is liable to a fine not exceeding 5,000 ringgit or imprisonment not exceeding 3 months or both, as provided under Section 39, Subsection 1 under the Animals Act 1953. Selangor has recorded the highest number of dengue cases nationwide from January 1st until February 3rd. According to the Health Ministry's Crisis Preparedness and Response Centre, CPRC, 9,210 cases were reported in Selangor, followed by Johor, 1,284, Kuala Lumpur, 1,217, Pulau Pinang, 1,177, Sabah, 543, and Perak, 422. At the same time, 20 dengue-related deaths were reported from January 1st until January 26. On the 9th of last month, according to media reports, dengue cases in Malacca increased by 118%, or 24 cases in the first week of the year, compared with the same period last year. The Health Ministry had been advising the people and local authorities to use other methods to prevent dengue fever as an additional measure. Deputy Foreign Minister Datuk Marzuki Yahya said he would leave it to the police to investigate a claim by a Facebook user that he had deceived the people by saying he had a Bachelor of Business Administration degree from the University of Cambridge. He said he would produce proof he had pursued a course in the field at the university. Datuk Marzuki also said he will find the best solution if the matter prolonged. In Perak, police detained a man for possessing a knuckle duster during Ops Bersepadu in Batu Gajah. Police said the 20-year-old man claimed that he was unaware that it was an offence to carry the knuckle duster, and he said it was only for self-defence. Batu Gajah District Police Chief ACP Ahmad Adnan Basri said the case is being investigated under the Corrosive Explosive Substances and Offensive Weapons Act. A woman who parked her car at a parking lot of the Aminuddin Baki Institute quarters in Genting Highlands was upset that her vehicle was splashed with acid. Bentong District Police Chief Superintendent Yusuf Uni said police received a report on the incident from the 46-year-old victim on Monday, and the case was being investigated under Section 427 of the Penal Code for causing damage through act of mischief. After the breather, woman held after blaze in Paris kills at least 10. We'll be right back. We're back with the foreign news. At least 10 people were killed and 37 injured after a fast-moving fire that may have intentionally been set coursed through an 8th-story building in a residential part of western Paris on Tuesday. The fire, which the authorities were treating as a possible case of arson and which appeared to be tied to a neighborhood dispute, was the deadliest in the French capital in over a decade. The police opened a criminal investigation, and Remy Heights, the Paris prosecutor, told reporters early Tuesday that a 40-year-old woman who lived in the building had been taken into custody nearby. The fire broke out in an 8th-story building in the city's chic 16th district, forcing some residents to scramble onto nearby rooftops to escape the flames and smoke. Over 200 firefighters were deployed at the scene to battle the blaze as well as treat the injured. Meanwhile, as a precaution, several surrounding buildings at the wealthy Paris neighborhood have also been evacuated. The incident comes a month after a deadly gas explosion in a Paris bakery killed 4 people. Two bodies were discovered in Australia's flood-ravaged northeast on Tuesday as continuing heavy rain prompted authorities to warn of further flash flooding in the hours ahead. Prime Minister Scott Morrison toured the region where once-in-a-century floods have inundated thousands of homes and closed airports and schools, leaving cars and houses submerged. In hard-hit Townsville, more than 650 people have been evacuated from their homes and about 11,000 houses remained without power on Tuesday. Police said that 2 bodies had been discovered in Townsville floodwaters following a search for 2 men in their 20s who were last seen during the peak of the deluge early Monday. As waters began to recede Tuesday in some areas, authorities were warning people of the dangers of returning home, not least thanks to the risk of encountering crocodiles and snakes. The government has said it will provide disaster relief for those affected by the floods and encourage people to apply for emergency assistance payments. German holiday airline Germania collapsed on Tuesday after it failed to secure financing to meet a short-term cash squeeze and said it would cancel all flights immediately. The insolvency of Germania, which carried around 4 million passengers each year, follows on from the failure of Germany's second biggest airline, Air Berlin, in 2017 and underscores the turbulence in the European airlines industry. Germania blamed rising fuel prices, a stronger dollar, delays in integrating new aircraft into its fleet, as well as a high number of maintenance services for the cash shortage. Founded in 1986, Germania's 37 aircraft mainly flew German Sunseekers to more than 60 destinations in Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East. It said all flights had been halted overnight after it filed for bankruptcy late on Monday. Passengers who had booked directly with the airline will not be entitled to alternative flights. The Federal Association of the German Aviation Industry said airlines, including those belonging to the Lufthansa Group and Condor, would offer stranded Germania passengers special rates to return to Germany. Germania's own financial problems emerged at the start of January when it said it was examining several financing options to secure its short-term liquidity needs. The Year of the Pig on Monday night. The annual gala, known as Chunwan, showcased a stunning mix of beautiful and boisterous performances, ending the show with massive fireworks displays. With that, I'm Nakia Bashirudin. Thank you for watching. Kong Si Fa Chai, Xin Yan Kuai Le.